have you in studio. Do you think Juan Guaido will be arrested when he touches down in Venezuela?
I think if this happens, the regime of Maduro will be threatened. There's a very clear threat from the U.S. government. It was published a few hours ago by the National Security Advisor, John Bolton, that the United States would react very harshly if this is the case. So the stakes are very high, and I think that if Maduro takes the risk of arresting the opposition leader, recognizes the president by the United States and other Western countries, I think the United States might intervene.
And yet Juan Guaido is being recognized by more than 50 nations, and still Nicolas Maduro isn't budging. What is it going to take for there to be movement on this leadership impasse, so to speak?
Mostly the position of the army. As long as Maduro is able to keep the army on his side, then it's unlikely that he will be toppled. But what we've seen in many other similar situations in other parts of the world is that the moment the dictator starts ordering the shooting of citizens, very often you have soldiers and senior soldiers defecting and refusing to take those orders. So if Maduro gives this order, it might very likely be that senior officers will decide to reject those orders. Also, there's the food situation. Don't forget that the images of the Maduro regime burning food donations from neighboring countries, from Colombia, or preventing them from entering Venezuela, this also obviously is extremely counterproductive for the Maduro regime.
To that exact point, those images of the humanitarian aid being blocked on the border, talk us through the economic implications of what's unfolding right now in a country that is already battling.
So the situation is really tragic in Venezuela today in terms of the economy. People are lacking the most basic needs when it comes to food, medicine, and this is an oil-rich country turned into a real economic basket case by Maduro and, of course, his predecessor. And I think Venezuelans know that. They know that, you have all these Venezuelan refugees going to neighboring countries to get some food, to get jobs, to get medicine. And this is a regime that is preventing humanitarian aid from neighboring countries and from the United States. So this is just absurd, and I think that everybody realizes this, and Maduro is just fighting for his life against the will of his people after stealing a rigged election. And I think what we need today is more and more international pressure to have more and more countries, not only in Latin America, in the West, but the rest of the world, to support to support the opposition leader. But what we need today, of course, is a principled position from countries such as Russia and China, which unfortunately are still supporting Maduro.
International relations expert Dr. Emmanuel Navon, as always, thank you so much.